All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
This is the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Good morning. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with my husband, fellow realtor, Pat Devaney.
Good morning, Jackie. How are you today?
Very good. How are you?
Very good.
For the second week in a row, we have Tom Richardson, patrolman with Dunmore Police Department. Thank you for coming in with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here last week as well. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we review many real estate topics. We have a full-time real estate office with many relentless realtors who've been guiding, assisting, and advising clients in real estate matters for 50 years.
50 years. Wow. During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com. Or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab and check out our new 4K camera up on the roof. We got a nice view of Dunmore Corners. You can see what's going on.
Crystal clear.
It's beautiful.
View our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobile-friendly jruddy.com, jruddy.com, where we also have all our popular podcast apps listed, and that's where you can catch the show as well. Also, we are all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, and Instagram. Pat, how are you today?
I'm good.
Good. Tom, how are you today?
Good.
Good. We want to talk about home security today and how we can keep our homes safe. We talked a little bit about it last week, at the beginning of the show. We talked about, packages being stolen and how many people have that Ring doorbell feature now and some, security cameras. What else can we do to keep our families safe, our property safe, our cars in the driveway safe? People have a false sense of security in these small towns and boroughs. How many people in Dunmore still keep their doors unlocked?
You wouldn't believe the amount of people. I mean, doors unlocked is kind of like a common practice in Dunmore, and it has been, growing up in Dunmore, that's how it's always been. And, number one security is just being a good neighbor and watching your neighbors. And we do have a lot of good people in town that watch out for each other, and I remember growing up, the neighbor across the street, she never missed a thing. They knew everything that went on, but it helps us tremendously when you see something, suspicious, something that isn't typical in the neighborhood, to call us. We could check it out. There's no bad or stupid call. Call anytime, and we'll check on your neighbors or whatever is maybe different in the neighborhood.
My house, the doors are always locked. I go to the garage. My son says, Dad, you can leave the door unlocked. No, you can't. Because I go to the garage, I lock the door. But one of the biggest things, because I was a fireman in New York, one of the biggest problems I found was people don't have numbers on their buildings. They do not have the address on their building. So if you're getting a call that there's an emergency going on, say it's EMS or fire or police.
Or to check out something like you just said.
Right, and there's no numbers on the building, that's causing a delay.
It is. It absolutely, and I don't know where through time we have lost the house numbers, but the more and more we drive around every day, driving through every neighborhood, we all find as officers, the houses don't have their numbers like they always did. Or if they do have the numbers, they're small, they're hidden behind a bush. To have that number out there, it is a time saver in a time sensitive, type situation.
And it could be a lifesaver. In an EMS case, it could be a lifesaver.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we had numbers on our house up until last summer that they were there. I felt they were prominently displayed, but nobody could ever see them. They were black. So we went out, and I don't think that there's a problem now. We have huge numbers.
They're 6 inches tall.
Bright white.
Yes.
So we changed them from black to white.
Well, something that stands off
Yeah.
your house. So don't have a contrast, where it blends into your siding or your front steps wherever you have it displayed. But small numbers on your mailbox is too difficult for us to see from the street.
Right, especially if they're the stickers and they fall off.
Right, the stickers fall off. So ours are 6 inches tall. They're raised numbers, and it's on a dark green background. Plus, we also have not only do I have cameras on my house, but I have an alarm system. So we have the sign in the yard, and that sign in the yard has the address of the house on it also.
Yes, a lot of those security companies, they give you the sign for your front yard where you will have, and some of them even have the solar panel built on top of it where it will cast a light on so that it makes it even easier for us, or any responding person to find your address.
Nice. Okay, good. Thank goodness for nosy neighbors, as you mentioned when we opened the show, and people that are aware. I don't know. I think you would be the one that would be aware if there was anything off in our neighborhood. But we do have a few people that tend to know everything that's
I'm not the nosy neighbor.
No. But I don't know. I'm not there.
But I can name a few on our block if you'd like.
I'm sure you could. Well, we'll pass on that.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're right. Know what's going on in your neighborhood, right? So if there's something that just doesn't look right is off, report it. I think that's great advice because you just never know. But, there's no secret that usually if someone's going to break in somewhere, they're not just doing it randomly. They usually have it figured out beforehand by watching.
Yes, there's
watching routines, watching when you come, when you go, consistency, when you're probably not going to be there.
Yes, and so that whole thing goes off of what you are showing to people. It's kind of like your car. If you leave your purse laying on the passenger seat, and it's easily, and you're able to see it from a distance, it's gonna make you a target. You're actually painting it. We just got through the holiday season, and everybody's out shopping, parking in parking lots, and not locking their cars or leaving the bags or their purse or some type of expensive material item out in the open on your cell phone on the dashboard. You're almost inviting people into, breaking into your car or back to your home. They're breaking into these areas because they know, what is in that.
Don't advertise.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll never forget. So I'm born and raised, always lived in Dunmore my whole entire life, right? So I'm a small town girl. Compared to my husband, big city guy, came from...
Tell him the high-rise story.
No, yeah, we'll save that. Okay. But came from New York City, right? So born, raised Brooklyn, then moved out into Queens and the beach area. But so you are like hard knocks, safety is and security. I
suspect
$1.
Everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, I left $1. $1. $1 on my passenger car seat one day. Doors were locked. And you think I left $500 out in the open. The way that my husband said to me, people smash windows for $1. Don't you know that you can't do this? Well, I've never left another $1 or even a quarter out in the open, ever. But that's what happens, right?
Yeah, your sister, it happened to her. She left a purse on the front seat. She went into Marywood for something. She came out, the window was smashed, and her purse was gone. Mm-hmm. And then
now, two neighbors of ours had their purses. They kept their purses in their car.
In the car, unlocked. Overnight. I would never do that.
You see it more and more. I mean, there's even people that leave their keys in the ignition of their car, which can visibly be seen from anywhere. It's just thinking safety and security every day, and just thinking like, if I was to see this, what would I think? So taking your keys out, making sure you lock your doors when you leave your house. That $1 that you left, well, maybe that makes somebody think, well, if she's leaving $1 out in the open, there might be 500 in the glove box.
Right. And if you get guys, and we see it, looking on the cameras, people who will looking for drugs, they start walking up and down the house,
Well,
up and down the streets, and they're checking every car. They're going up to the car and checking every door to see if it's open, and they're gonna hit one or two that's gonna be open.
Well, I do wish Stonmore had a little bit more lighting in their streets. Like there's one light that's down at the other end of the street, so we have compensated by having 24 lights on our front porch, front lawn, like side lights. And I mean, when you drive down, I mean, you know it's our house because we're lit up like a Christmas tree every single solitary night, right?
Right. Those porch lights are on a timer. They go on at sundown. They go off. They go on in the evening and off in the morning.
But there's houses that sit in total darkness.
Total darkness.
And that's just, they're asking for trouble.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, even installing, a motion sensing light.
Yes.
It is, a tremendous help at, just stopping people or making them think twice because maybe your house isn't as easy of a target as portrayed, without the light or without the sign for the security system or without the doorbell cameras and stuff like that.
Right. So it takes some thought to make your house,
Right. So when you come to my house, it's got all the lights on. It's got the security cameras. It's got the sign in the yard for the alarm system. And I have a guard dog inside. So you're in trouble if you get in.
Well, how many people say they post on social media that they're in Puerto Rico for like 2 months, right? And they say, well, don't try to go, don't try to break in because we have Lassie, So, but like they rely on their dog to be their security system. And I don't know that that's always the best way to do it. But when people are getting lazy, they're starting to say, we all are excited when people are having a great time in life and it's a happy time. But I don't know. I always hesitate to do something.
That's
like
advertising.
That.
I don't want advertising.
You are. And that's, the downside of social media and having smartphones is we're putting up in the moment pictures or, tagging our location in and people know that we're away from home. And, it's not always just that random person that's walking by the house that is looking to break into your house. It could be a family member. It could be a close friend. It could be a close friend's family member. It goes a lot deeper and, they could be your friend on Facebook, but it could just be for information gathering and when you're gone away. And so like you said, they're gone away. They're away for, they put out that they're going to be away for 2 weeks. It's more than enough time to come up with a plan. And, then unfortunately you're victimized while you're on that nice vacation.
And when do most break-ins occur? During the day.
During the day, morning hours.
You would think it would be at night,
No,
right?
it's not.
No, they don't want to get shot.
Right.
Right. They come in during the day. They figure everybody's at work. They look and see if there's any cars in the driveway. Then first, what are they going to do? Check the door, see if the door's locked.
Yeah. And there was about 16 years ago where someone was going through the back door.
And your friend was sitting on the couch and this person walked into their house. Walked in.
Yes, that's happened more times than I could think of.
And then they said they were a nurse or something looking for an address. It was a scam. Mm-hmm. There was a guy in the car waiting. They had the whole thing planned out. So lock your doors even when you're home.
Right. Okay. So lighting is important too, I think, whether you're home or not. So inside and outside, right? So we have timers that go off on the inside, especially when we're not home, and packages sitting on the front porch for days or mail or the newspapers. Yeah. All signs that one is not home. Tom Richardson, patrolman with the Dunmore Police Department, with us today. I have an article, What Makes a Neighborhood Feel Safe According to Consumers. It's interesting that consumers are willing to spend nearly 14% more on a home if they feel it's safe. So how do they know it's safe, especially if they're moving from out of the area? They look at some things. The top answer is they watch to see if there's children playing outside. The second telltale sign that a neighborhood is safe is if they see walkers, joggers, or runners. Third is visible presence of neighbors outside. And 4, if there's nearby parks and playgrounds, that's a good indicator of safety. 5, if there's schools nearby. And high resale value of homes in the area. That's another thing that they're looking at, and thriving local businesses and limited police presence. But I have to say, I don't know if I agree with limited police presence, because there isn't a day that goes by that I don't see someone from the police department several times a day, up and down and all around. And I think it's important that there's a police presence.
You should have proactive police patrol. And, also on that same measure of us talking about, like a schedule and, people being able to kind of pinpoint where you're going to be at, a certain time of day. You don't want them to be able to pinpoint a certain time of day when a police officer is going to be driving down the road. So randomized patrols and not getting into a routine of I drive out of the police station and I drive up this street, down the next one, and so on. Every day it should be something different times we're hitting neighborhoods. And so I think, limited police would be a bad thing. A bad thing, because that would mean that there's the only time they're going through your neighborhood is if something bad is occurring. And we should be getting to know the neighbors and the people that live in our town and the people that work in our town. So, we try as much as possible to meet people and have a proactive approach at patrolling and the safety of the citizens of Dunmore.
So patterns aren't good.
No.
So patterns for you are not good. Patterns for us are not good. And I can't imagine if anybody ever watched us, because their head's going to spin.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell we're doing.
At any given moment, So
is it coming or going? I don't know. I'm unsure.
They'd have to
too many
move
different
on.
cars. They don't know. They think we got drug deals going on in my house.
Respondents to this, and this is according to the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, what I just talked about. Respondents who were parents said they would spend 20.5% more to live somewhere they considered safe, while baby boomers said they would spend 26.5% more.
All right, let me ask you something, Tommy. When you're on patrol and you're driving around, are you looking at every individual house? Are you looking at the people, or are you just looking at the whole picture? What do you look for?
You're kind of scanning the whole neighborhood as a whole, but
just looking for anything out of place?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working for the department for 19 years now. So, barring something, somebody buys a property and tears it down to, maybe build another property, most of the streets don't change the way that they look. So, if you're driving down a street and something is different or doesn't look, it catches your eye a lot quicker when you're doing it on the daily, driving up and down the same 9 square miles that we have. Things do stick out as compared to, how many times have you passed something and you say, oh, out of nowhere, wow, that changed. We kind of pick up on that because it's the same streets every day, 8 hours a day that we're driving on.
Right. Your beat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Tom Richardson, patrolman with the Dunmore Police Department. We're headed towards the break, and we'll return in just a few moments with more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker.
Who are Century 21 agents? They're high-tech gizmo-packing problem solvers with an appetite for getting things done. They know the best places to buy a home, to sell a home, and to find antiques, if you're into that kind of thing. They're weatherproof, foolproof, and proof positive that smart people doing good work can make big things happen for great folks like you. Oh, and there's one nearby. This is who they are. This is what they do. Century 21 agents. Smarter, bolder, faster. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Hi, this is Jackie Ruddy from Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Is real estate on your mind? It's on ours 24/7. Whether you're buying, selling, investing, or in need of an appraisal, you have questions, we have answers.
Thinking of buying or selling a house and have questions? Tune in to the Real Estate Roundtable, hosted by locally owned and operated Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday mornings at 11:30.
Call 570-344-6724 or visit jruddy.com. That's JRUDDY.com. Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
And we're back learning important things
about home safety, car safety, property safety. Tom Richardson, patrolman with the Dunmore Police Department, is with us today. Thanks for your time this week and last week. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
I can never tire of this subject, and so I'm sure you're on the police department with the police department for 19 years, and you've seen everything, I'm sure. Now, for a time there, we were seeing a lot of copper theft. Is that still happening, especially on homes that were vacant and people knew they were vacant?
So, not as much as we were at one time. Copper was up so high in value that's what we were seeing was the houses getting broken into, whether they were for sale or just unoccupied for whatever reason that might have been, and people were breaking in and they were cutting the copper out of the houses. But that has somewhat diminished.
Okay. So, yeah, I haven't heard much about it lately myself. But so, first half of the show, we talked about people and their false sense of security, and there's still people out there not locking their doors. But if you have a lock, use it, right? So how about some personal safety tips as well? Keeping when we're out there, out and about, living life, what should we not be doing? What drives you crazy?
Well, so first and foremost is the getting stuck in your cell phone. So the smartphones, they're great. They have so many features that, technology has really made things wonderful. But on the same sense, now you see people, they're walking, across the street, they're walking down the sidewalk, and they're completely oblivious to what's going on in their surroundings and what's going on in front of them. They're stuck watching, different YouTube or whatever app it is, videos, and that is what's important in the moment. And
they're not paying attention.
No,
Right.
They step off a curb, you could be hit by a car.
at the corners. I saw it on the camera, on the roof camera that we have. Girl was coming down Drinker Street, walking towards the FNCB. She had a phone right in front of her face, and she's walking. A guy made the left turn, and he hit her. I don't know why he didn't see her, but she was oblivious to what was going on.
Yeah.
She got knocked down the street.
And you lose your full sense of what's going on around you. I mean, just think about when you're sitting on your couch at home watching them, how much time passes. So think about when you're out walking on the street, you step off the curb, something that you would have been able to react to, now you lost that reactionary gap.
Well, we've all seen that video years ago where the person's walking down the street with the cell phone in front of their face and they go down the manhole. So, I mean, it happens.
That's true.
Right. So, okay. Yeah. And that's good advice. And especially when I'm driving and I could tell, whether I'm behind them or whatever, if they're on the cell phone.
They drive like they're drunk.
Yeah, the cell phone.
They're all over the place.
And distracting to them while they're driving, and it could end very, very badly. So with Patrick getting his license, I think about this, right?
Yeah, I told him if I catch him on the phone when he's driving, he's not driving anymore.
Just turned 16 last month, so look out. What else? Any other tips about the home, garages, cars in the driveway, anything else that we need to know about?
Well, just like we talked about, I mean, making sure that your doors are locked, your windows are locked and secured, your garage door even if you don't keep anything in your garage and you don't think there's anything of value in there, still having it locked, it's still off. It's still showing that we're trying to keep people out. And the harder it is for somebody to make an attempt at breaking in, like we leave our car doors unlocked, or if they are locked, usually when they're locked, they'll pass by, they'll go to the next. And, the more difficult we make it for people, the safer the whole community will be, because they'll say, I tried to get into cars on that block and every one of the cars was locked. They won't come back to that block.
That's right. One of the guys who was breaking into cars on our block told his other druggy friends that our block was good, and someone else came down and they did it. That's the truth.
They do.
They talk to each other.
It is communicated, and it's something where if there is a block or a certain area of town where it is easier or it is harder to get into, vehicles, or just to be able to get that quick grab.
Right.
It definitely,
yeah, crime is usually
it's echoed around.
If there's an opportunity, they're going to take it.
Yes.
Take it away from them.
Well, you mentioned drugs. So what's going on in the drug world? I'm sure they're here to stay, unfortunately. What kind of drugs are you seeing out there these days?
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, drugs are, something that it's something that we're going to be fighting that battle for years and years to
come.
come.
Unfortunately, it has to do with these intrusions and these break-ins.
It destroys lives.
It destroys lives, but they're looking for that quick money to get their next high. So they're breaking into people's houses and cars. So what's going on out there in terms of what are they doing these days, the type of drugs?
Well, now you see an increase in meth. You also see the increase in fentanyl that is, going around. So, the safety precautions in our job have completely changed because of the amount of potency that there is with fentanyl and the amount of officers that have been, contaminated from it.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Oh, it's dangerous.
And you're seeing it in everything.
And it does come into real estate when we go to show these properties that these people are living into. It touches our lives too, because we're putting ourselves at risk. And then selling a property, it just needs to be disclosed if there's that residue still
right,
there.
or if it was a meth lab or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting times.
It is, definitely.
Tom Richardson, patrolman with the Dunmore Police Department. I thank you so much for your time. Happy New Year to you and your family. Happy, healthy New Year. Stay safe. Thank you for all that you do for our community. Not only are you a patrolman, but you're a assistant SWAT team.
Assistant team leader on the county SWAT team. Yes.
Fabulous. And you are also, you do a lot for the community in terms of charity and community service with the Dunmore Police Department. You spearhead every year. Well, we haven't had it because of COVID, but the National Night Out.
Yes.
And you do the Christmas with the cops, the toys for the children, and you're always out there. And you're going into the schools. You're giving educational seminars to our younger students, and so you just do. God love you, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
And the awareness that you bring to safety in our community. And we love all our Dunmore police. At this time of year, I usually get phone calls. Should we wait? We want to sell, but it's January. Should we sell?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Now is the time. Inventory is still low. Prices are still, real estate's still on fire. Prices are still staying good, stable. Interest rates are great. So it's a good time to buy as well as a good time to sell. But do not wait to the spring market, please, because we need inventory now. Buyers are out there. I have one agent that has 15 buyers, either cash or pre-approved, ready to make a move, but they can't find anything. It's 15. Just one of my 30 agents with 15 ready-to-go buyers in all different areas, in all different price ranges, and different styles of homes. So if you're thinking of selling, now is the time to do it. You wait to spring, you're competing with everybody else. Do it now. Get your price, and let's be done with it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for joining the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m. on 94.3 FM The Talker. Have a great week.